life for most Chinese students is shared between public school education and the private schools that they go to, mostly the training centers, the English centers, the math centers, the science centers, all of those combine to make the Chinese student experience. But why do the students go to these schools? And hopefully this video will address the question as best as possible from a student perspective. So, we will start with the training centers. I think the number one reason that students go to these places is that their parents make them. The parent of 5-year-old Susie says, Susie, you're going to English class and you have to go and you have to listen to the teacher and you have to do English class. You have to do math class, you're going to go to science class, and you're going to go to piano class. And maybe they have some say, but as far as attending training centers, if the parent has the money, they're sending their kid to the training centers. No matter how much it costs, they'll do it for this hope that their student is going to be an overachiever and be top of the class. So eventually, they hope their investment into the child by sending them to these centers will pay dividends down the road. And the student wants to make mom happy, so the student goes because mom says so. Now, when the student gets older, maybe they'll say, oh, wow, I am privileged to go to this English center, and I can use the knowledge I'm getting here to do better in my school. That's when they start going for themselves. This usually happens between middle school and high school, but sometimes you get a really good third or fourth grader that has made the decision, that understands, hey, wait a minute, this is for myself. I'm going to study for me. And when that switch happens, they become a pretty good student. And this next reason is for the sake of many students. A lot of students are going to the training centers so they can learn English, so that they can study abroad or learn math or whatever it takes to get abroad, because eventually they hope that they can go to a university far, far away from mom and dad and they can have their own life. And that could be a motivating factor on why they say, this is for myself. I can get some benefit from this school. Now, the engine that drives the whole car on why students go to these places is Gaokao and Zhongkao. Zhongkao is the test that they take to get into high school. And if you score high, you can go to a really good high school. And Gaokao is the test they take to go to college. And if the student scores high on Gaokao, they can go to a really good university. And so this causes people to go to the school to catch up. It's like, oh no, I only have one more year of middle school and my math isn't good enough, so I need to really push hard on math for my 9th grade so that I can do good on Zhongkao, I can get to a good high school, and then I can do good on Gaokao. So that is the engine. And if they didn't need to score really high on the tests, I'm not sure if students would be going to these places and parents would be investing all their money. Now, to analyze the public school, there are similar reasons, but I think it's slightly different. The main reason a primary student and middle school student goes to school is it's required by the government. And to follow the law, parents will send their kids to school, but it's the same approach as the training center. The student will go to the school because mom says so, and they want to make mom and dad happy, and then eventually you hope that they would go for themselves. Chinese public school has a lot of structure, so I could see how a student would enjoy going to the public school, knowing what's expected, that they have do their homework. They know what teacher they're going to see. They know what activities they're going to do. So it's going to give them a sense of structure and knowing what to expect in life. They like to spend time with classmates and friends. That could be a big encouragement to keep kids coming to school, because what they do in the public school is every class becomes a family. Every class takes the same class together. In the West, you move from one class to another class, and you might have class with another classmate. Maybe you share 3 classes. In China, the whole class shares the classroom, and then the teachers go to class to teach the kids. So a teacher will start their day going to class 1, then they'll go to class 6, maybe class 9, and they'll do their lessons. And one teacher will maybe have 4 or 5 classes that they need to attend to, but the students don't go to them. The teacher goes to the students. So this creates a family environment for each class. And the other thing is, within that class, a student can rise up and become class monitor. Maybe they have a good student that's good in sports, and it becomes like a healthy rivalry. Class 1 did better on this test than class 5, or class 1 beat class 7 in a sports day event. And that is what creates the good memories for a lot of people in the public school. And that's kind of what a lot of the dramas are about, sharing those memories, keeping people coming back. So basically, students go for the same reasons to both these schools: do well on tests, keep parents happy, but eventually, from my experience, when I saw in most students, there's a switch that happens where they go for themselves. And I personally think if that switch doesn't happen, that student will not be able to reach their full potential, because they're not living their life for themselves at that point. They're still just doing homework to make mom happy. The last elephant in the room that needs to be addressed, though, and my big critique on the private schools, mainly the training centers and particularly the English training centers, is that the tuition is so high. It's like putting a burden on parents, and it's becoming such a burden that parents are spending enormous amounts of money sending their kid to these schools, trying to afford the tuition, that it's starting to affect the birth rate. Now, this might be challenged, but my own personal opinion is that the higher the education cost, the lower the birth rate will be, because families are going to be taking the amount of money they get and saying, wow, we only have enough money for one child because we must send our kid to the training centers. It's a pressure. They want the kid to do well, and they think that these extra classes are going to be the gateway to that success. So I think tuition needs to be lowered. They can't rob the parents blind and do some of the stuff they do and expect people to put up with it for so long. And that's pretty much my thoughts on public school and private school. And I hope you like this video. Please make sure to leave a comment and subscribe. And I will be producing more content on education in China and Asia at large. Thank you for watching.